Let's get this show on the road.
Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks. I've got a real treat for you here today, brought to you by SchnitzelTruck. And firstly, SchnitzelTruck, may I commend you on an excellent name. Makes me want to go back to Austria and go walking in the Tyrol region. But I digress, none of you really want to know where QuickyBaby has been walking. You want to know, what is this mysterious tank he's playing? Well, he's playing in the Sherman Firefly. This is a brand new British Tier 6 medium tank that came in the 9.5 patch. Now what's special about this tank is not the hull, because the hull is a Tier 5 Sherman and is very unremarkable for a Tier 6 medium. It's very weak and it's large, and that makes the Sherman Firefly a very soft target. But it's not the hull what this tank is special for, it's the gun that's mounted on it. This tank is famous for being one of the first Allied weapons that were capable of penetrating the very heavily armoured German tanks such as the Tiger at fairly long ranges. In World of Tanks, 17-pounder equates to the 76.2mm, which has got 150 alpha damage and 171mm of penetration with its standard rounds. 171mm of penetration is absolutely astronomical for a Tier 6 medium tank, and puts the other Tier 6 British medium tank, the Cromwell, to shame. SchnitzelTruck is probably just moving his mouse pad around here as he tries to draw a bead on the T-67, which he finally tracks, allowing the Chi-He to finish him off. Check out that great rate of fire on this 17-pounder. At one point on the test server it was completely overpowered. Now I believe it's been nerfed to about the 12.5 rounds a minute mark, but I could be wrong there. But what a result. He tracks a very, very, very dangerous tank, a KV-85, in the open, right in front of him, and continues to shoot his tracks to stop him from putting them back on, as well as doing full damage to that Tier 6 Soviet heavy tank, one of the most dangerous vehicles on the enemy team, taken out due to an excellent shot by SchnitzelTruck. He takes his first hit from either the KV-1 or the T-150. If the T-150 is not using the top gun, because if he was using the 107mm, SchnitzelTruck would have lost pretty much 40% of his hit points there. Now, the weaknesses of the Firefly, apart from its rather weak hull and pretty mediocre turret armor, are that its mobility is not very good. But right now, SchnitzelTruck is going to town on this Matilda Black Prince, aka Chuck Norris, who is statistically the strongest player on the enemy team. And the Sherman Flyer is ripping Chuck Norris a new one right now. One more. Good night, sweet prince. I think we have just proven that the Sherman Firefly is completely overpowered, as it killed Chuck Norris, and that's meant to be impossible, right? He follows it up with a swift kill on a KV-1. And now they seem to be multiplying. He's trying to deal with another KV-1 and nearly finishes him off, but he managed to sneak around the corner and he only manages to take his tracks off. He shoots another building to allow himself to get shots down onto the T-150, which he starts to easily penetrate through the side. Now, a lot of Tier 6 medium tanks would struggle to be able to make these shots with such good aim time, as this tank can use vertical stabilizers, and they could lack the penetration to be able to go through the tracks and the rather thick side armor of a Tier 6 Soviet heavy tank. But not the Firefly. That's what this tank is specialized at doing. And he's now alone with a Chaffee against 6 tanks on the enemy team, all Tier 6 and Tier 5. Very good matchup here for the Sherman Firefly, not any Tier 7s on the enemy team. So while the Sherman Firefly is not the most mobile vehicle, we can see that it can still outflank the KV-1. Now while that's going on, the Chaffee is fighting the PZSFL, keeping him distracted in base, that Tier 5 German tank destroyer. But let's not focus on that right now, as an SU-100 is thundering down the hill. He puts one shot into him, 2 shots into him, the SU-100 misses, and that allows Schnitzel to finish him off. Immediately reacting to the situation, he then uses the Su-100 to hide from the KV-2. That 152mm shell will not do much good if it hits him, but luckily it goes straight into the wreck of the Su-100 as he continues to pepper this full health KV-2 down. Oh, it's getting hot in here as he finishes him off, securing his 7th kill of the game. What a fantastic result so far, 3,366 damage, but he's not done. He hides behind the building to evade the enemy artillery, which he was lucky, to be honest, that he didn't get shot there from while he was using the Su-100's wreck. And just to clarify that situation, you may be wondering, well, why did that 152mm shell not do any damage to the Sherman? And that's because if an HE shell hits a wreck, it gets completely absorbed. It's one of the coping mechanisms in the game to deal with artillery and to allow tanks to hide behind tanks to evade artillery. As SchnitzelTruck absolutely rips apart the Tier 6 American tank destroyer, the Hellcat. The first shot tracking him and doing 138 damage, and then 2 more shots to finish off a rather dangerous kitty on the enemy team. SchnitzelTruck is on 8 kills. He's already killed over half the enemy team. If he was to die now, he would be awarded the Radley Walters, and at 3,800 damage, he's had an incredible game for a Tier 6 tank. But he's not done yet. There's an M44, a Tier 6 American artillery on the enemy team, and a PZSFL VSC, who is most likely still camping in base. Now the thing about that Tier 5 German tank destroyer is that it has excellent view range. SchnitzelTruck probably doesn't. He's not a light tank. He's a rather tall target. He's probably got terrible camera rating. And he gets spotted even before he fires there. Pulls back behind this soft cover to evade the enemy artillery and prays. No artillery shell comes for him. And he has definitely figured out now just how good the view range is on the Tier 5 German tank destroyer. And unless the Firefly uses binoculars or pudding in T and a great cruise skill and optics, it's never going to reach a view range cap. SchnitzelTruck does not use binoculars on this tank, at least. He might be using optics, but he's still only going to get up to about the 400 meters view range mark. And that PZSFL is very likely using binoculars and will be reaching the cap. And so he is going to, as he says, play it safe, I'm going round. He wants to outflank the enemy. He doesn't want to get spotted at long range where the artillery will be able to rain death upon him. And the German tank destroyer has the advantage. He needs to get close to negate the view range advantage of the enemy team and to dish out the punishment. Now there's one other weakness that I should have mentioned with the Sherman Firefly, and that's because, well, it only gets 6 degrees of gun depression. That's the same as the Object 140 if you're an experienced player. Now that's not very medium-like. Even the Cromwell, which I thought had about the same, has higher gun depression than the Sherman Firefly. But SchnitzelTruck has not allowed that to stop him in this gameplay. So the Chaffee races on. There might be an ambush here for him. Brave, brave, brave little Chaffee gets spotted. Oh no, the M44 surely going to snack him. Splashes the Chaffee down, but it allows SchnitzelTruck to put one shot into him, and the artillery scutters away quickly. SchnitzelTruck realizes he needs to close the distance here. He can't allow the enemy team to reorganize and flank his aggressive maneuvers. Whereas this M44, it's tense. He's on 8 kills, 4,000 damage, 2 tanks left. There's the M44. Fires through a truck, taking out the artillery, putting himself into a 1v1 with the Tier 5 German tank destroyer. He knows where he was last spotted. Comes around the corner. The PZSFL misses. SchnitzelTruck penetrates his first round and finishes him off with his second. What an absolutely fantastic game here. SchnitzelTruck showing us why this is the Sherman Firefly. As I mentioned, this tank may have poor gun depression, its mobility may be mediocre, and its hull armor and turret armor certainly aren't impressive. But SchnitzelTruck mitigated all of these issues through excellent tactical awareness and use of cover in pivotal positions to outplay and outperform his opponents. Thank you, SchnitzelTruck, for this replay. It was an absolute treat and makes me want to get back into this brand new Tier 6 British medium tank on the livestream tonight. SchnitzelTruck netted himself 71,000 credits this game and 3,234 experience. And upon closer inspection, that was not a double. 2,156 base experience has to be one of the greatest games in a Tier 6 medium tank that I've ever seen. Unsurprisingly, he got a high caliber medal and the Pools medal for securing that 10th kill with 4,572 damage done, which was certainly more than anyone else on his team and probably his team combined total. So again, SchnitzelTruck, thank you so much for submitting this replay on the QuickyBaby.com website. I thoroughly enjoyed it and it shows me what this tank is certainly capable of. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like down below. It really helps the channel out. And let me know in the comments what you think of the Sherman Firefly. Have you played it? Do you think it's great? Or you're a bit like me, and when you play it, you kind of miss the mobility and the flexibility of the Cromwell. Anyway, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.